Hi guys, my name is Dylan. So we're back to our second episode of On the Way series, and now we are on the way from Pavilion Bukit Jalil, and we are going to Mid Valley for lunch. I look a bit tired because I just came back from Singapore. We drove all the way to JB, and then we used the Johorian way of traveling to Singapore, which is through custom. But okay. You can share your thoughts first. For those who don't know, I'm actually from Johor, but not from Johor Bahru. I'm from Kluang, a small town. I think most of the Johorians or those who are working in Singapore, right, they are quite familiar of using by feet. You travel to Singapore. So basically, you reach their custom, JB's custom, then you have to queue up. Then you have to take their bus and etc. Only you can reach Woodlands, which is Singapore's custom area. Then you take everything by bus or MRT. So that's my way of going to Singapore, and I believe
Your way lah.
yeah, the Johorian way of going to Singapore.
My first and last. My first and last. Next
Yeah.
time I will be going straight to Johor Changi Airport.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. Okay, that's the thing. The differences between those who are staying nearer to Singapore, right? We are very used to walking or by bus to travel to Singapore. But I think for KL people or northern part, other states people, they are more used to by flight. Because they say, why? Flight is easier, more convenient. But then I think you also saw in the morning we departed to Singapore, a lot of people are just traveling by foot or even by bus to the custom, right? Is it a very special thing to see?
Okay, I'm speaking from my point of view as a KL person. Before meeting you, I never had the thought of working in Singapore lah. Even travel by foot to Singapore lah, never heard of before. Maybe it's because, I've been
Pampered.
Not to say pampered lah, maybe katak bawa tempurung lah a bit.
Oh, okay. So which means that, because I think it's depending on what realm that you're in, because your surrounding, your friends or family members, I think they work in KL.
Yeah, you see, like the hairdresser you brought me to in Kluang, also she was so shocked that I've never thought of, working in Singapore before. All my life I've been thinking of either, if I'm not going to work in KL, then I'll be maybe overseas in Australia, UK, that kind of places, not Singapore. She also said that, oh yeah, I also realized that, those who came from KL, you all rarely think of working in Singapore one.
Correct. Yeah.
Because maybe for me, I'll feel like it's a country so similar to us. So if I were to earn 3.5 from a country, maybe I would like to go to a different country
different surrounding,
maybe different culture.
Australia.
Yeah. If I were to think of earning 3.5, I would think of going to maybe a surrounding or a country with a bit more diverse culture than Malaysia lah.
Okay, Australia. UK. Yeah. The thing is, a lot of Johorians, we have the convenience to reach Singapore. Like we can take train to Singapore, we can take direct bus to Singapore, and the distance is only 1 hour plus. Like this is from Kluang lah. So I think most of us, we have the thought of going to Singapore because let's be honest, it's a multiplier effect. So everything there, you earn there times 3 and etc. But I would say the effort to go there or to stay there, and some even travel to and fro because of the expensive rental in Singapore, right? I really salute lah. It's not easy. So for those who are working there every day, they travel, really salute to you all. It's not an easy thing. So don't ever say, he earned good work in Singapore, he earned 3.5 times. No, don't say that, because for those who haven't tried, you should go and try it, experience it. It's really not easy at all. And one thing I also realized, right, just by crossing the bridge, we call the causeway link, right? Just by crossing the bridge, right, we realize one thing is Singapore, their civilization is, in terms of time, right, it's almost the same as Malaysia, but they are much more organized in terms of how they plan their town, their cities. One thing I realized upon reaching, right, I realized they always people first, as in they must build a pedestrian walkway with some even covered walkways, bus stations and etc. Only they cater for roads for people. It's just like how a lot of Ang Mo countries, a lot of European countries or countries outside of Asia, they focus on this. They focus on human first. So I think it's something very different if you were to compare with JB, Johor Bahru and Singapore. Right. That's one thing that is very different. I think we went there on business occasions and went to a place called Newton. So there is a direct bus that connects us to Newton, and we went to a place called Ilbun Road. Ilbun Road is it's a very upscale place, upscale neighborhood that is very centered, very near to Orchard Road. So upon reaching there, right, I was shocked by how well organized is that area. There are condos, there are condominiums, and it's not new. It's not, the place that we went is not new. I think it's around 10 years or 20 years plus. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the facade of the buildings are just so well maintained. Even, the swimming pools, the gym area, right? It's so well maintained until you will think that it's a very new condo. That's why
Ilbun is their upscale place, Bukit Timah, ma.
Yeah, it's Bukit Timah.
It's a famous place, lah.
Yeah, it's a famous place. So, but one thing I think about, not too sure about the mentality, right? A lot of people, they are not willing to pay maintenance fees in Malaysia. Because we don't have the mindset of maintenance fees. It's like, why don't you pay a maintenance fee? And this thought came from, because we mostly stay in landed houses. Like for you in KL, you used to stay in landed houses, individual title. There is no security guard needed previously. You don't have to seek for approval from your management when you want to do renovation and etc. So there is no one to control you. It's not stratified. But in Singapore, right, I think everything is stratified. And because of the mentality that they know, the building facade on how it looks like, right, it also affects the property value. So that's why I think in KL, there are a lot of places that requires maintenance fees now for landed properties as well. I think even your place, they build a guard house and it requires how much per month?
Not sure. It's my parents' place.
Okay, so I think it requires at least few hundred ringgit lah, just for a guard house. And for me, I think it's the way to go moving forward, because you will lessen the quarrel lah, like within your neighbors. Oh, this car park is this place I bought I bought this house, so the empty space in front of me technically should be my car park space, but it's not. So if with a stratified property, I think this issue will be, reduce a lot.
Not really lah.
Not really?
Not really lah. I mean, landed, wherever they see, be it stratified or individual, wherever they see there's empty land in front of their house, they will sure park their car one ma.
Yes, they will sure park, but then...
But it's a common understanding that you don't park in front of people's house. You park in front of the empty space in front of your house.
But if you park under people's place, last time you have to directly, there is no intermediary person. You have to directly go and tell your neighbor off, then, it's not good law. Fight law, quarrel law. But if there is a management now, then you will go and tell them, hey, this one, you can complain to them, hey, someone parked at my place, blah, 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 and etc. So at least, have someone to solve it for you lah. That's what I see lah.
So what are your thoughts for, JB being so near Singapore? Do you foresee it being the next KL? Or can Johor properties price, reach KL price?
I think we have briefly went around Johor Bahru. Very briefly. And one thing you realize, actually it's still a very residential area. If you realize, everyone is just, even when you see property ads online, all of them are just saying, what's the distance to CIQ? CIQ is their causeway link, RTS, CIQ, everything. So it's not like for example in KL, when people buy or people sell things, right? They'll say, what is the distance to KLCC? KLCC is like a tourist attraction. It's like a place to work and etc. But CIQ itself, right? It's just purely for transporting to Singapore, A lot of people, they ask me, what do you think about, as a Johorian, what do you think about Johor's property? I think that it will boom, but it will boom purely because of the vicinity to Singapore. Because everything is, the mindset, everything is divided by 3.5. It becomes very cheap. Then it brings back to the supply demand thing. The pricing strategy as well. A lot of developers there, suddenly they know that, okay, like before COVID, the same mindset, when they build house, let's say 1,000 ringgit per square feet, it's only how much? 300 ringgit PSF Sing dollar. In Singaporeans' point of view, or for those who are working in Singapore, it's very cheap. It's like, a $300 only, I can buy a house, a perfect size condo in JB. But then when COVID then hit, right, a lot of people then they cannot cross borders to JB again, and it led to the property price, because the locals who are working in Johor, they definitely cannot afford 1,000 ringgit per square feet. They definitely cannot afford. So then the property price dropped. So then it got me thinking one thing. Actually, property price, right? The pricing strategy, for new launches, it's always slightly overpriced. But then it also depends on how well is the sales. Example, today a developer launched 2,000 ringgit per square feet next to CIQ. Example, let's say it's around, 1 million lah. Okay, example 1 million. And then the sales is very good. Despite the surrounding is only around maybe 1,500 per square feet, but when they launched 2,000 ringgit per square feet, suddenly the sales is still very good. People can buy. The sales is moving. So it also means that, this developer just price higher by around 20-30%, the sales still can jalan more. It means
the
that
purchasing power of the people there.
reaches.
There is purchasing of power there.
Yeah.
Then there's demand. People can still accept
the pricing, the 2,000 ringgit per square feet. Yeah. So it means that, this pricing can then the price will keep slowly hiking up until the certain point that, okay, it's reaching almost like Singapore's property price already. Then only no one will buy. And no one will buy, it will lead to a lot of social economy issues, I would say. Like, you will have overhung properties. Like, for example, let's say the whole condo only sold 20%, remaining at 80% no one will buy, right? Then you have what we call bulk purchases, under table deals, and etc. It will affect those who previously bought. Yeah, it will affect it. These are the things that is very concerning. So the right way of buying properties, right, especially new launches, if the surrounding is 1,005 ringgit per square feet and it's a new launch, it's charging for 1,006, 1,007, I think it's still acceptable because it's a future pricing, they charge future price, so it's still acceptable. But if it's too much, surrounding is 1,005, you charge 2,005, you really have to see what is the difference between those old properties and the new one that is planning to be launched. Like, maybe those old one, right, they don't have grand lobby they don't have AI security, they don't have individual EV charging port for you. That you have to see what differs from the old projects.
Remember the Singaporean that we met in Singapore? She was saying that, she wouldn't buy JB properties, she wouldn't buy any Johor properties, but she will buy KL properties because at least there is it's like a backbone of Malaysia because it's the capital city, no matter what.
Yes.
If, KL fail, then that means it's Malaysia's doomsday already for our economy. Correct. So that's how she thinks.
And I think a lot of people buy JB really, it's just because of how close it is to CIQ, and that's about it. Because from your point of view, right, no one goes to Johor to travel for holidays.
That's a fun fact that that's how to say, we briefly ask around, and then quite a lot of people from northern part or even from KL, they've never really been to Johor before So
all say they went to Singapore but never went to Johor.
Yeah. Or they maybe briefly stop by on the way to Singapore.
Yeah. No, and if they go JB, it's like, JPO.
Yeah, JPO. So that's the importance of maybe having a very well-known food item. Because, Penang you have char kway teow and all that, then maybe KL capital city, but Johor
Laksa?
Not as well-known.
Okay. Fun fact, Kuluang have a railway station that is very nice for their toast bread and coffee. Should try. Those who haven't been there should try. Yeah. So back to the point of property pricing, right? Then if you ask me, should I buy JB property? Then I'll be asking back the question, which is, do you foresee Malaysian people to work more in Singapore? If yes, then most of them, they will be renting in JB.
I think there should be also another market where we can attract, the JB properties. We can attract those Singaporeans who are looking for a place to retire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, you can always aim for those very nice residential township like
Senibong. Yes.
Like Senibong Cove and all that. I think a lot of people will prefer that.
Yes.
Those will maybe capital appreciate.
Yeah, it's very nice, Senibong Cove. Okay, yeah, so there's one thing. Senibong Cove, right, in Johor Bahru, is something like Desa Park. For those who haven't seen, right, I've taken a short reels on my Instagram and even posted on YouTube. You all can have a look here. It's just like Desa Park City in KL, but you have yacht parked in the middle of the township. It's like river to sea, that kind of concept. It's not a lake, it's a river. You have yacht parking over there. Riverbank, yeah. Then you have commercials overseeing the yachts and everything. The sea is very, very nice. It's really so nice to live in that area. You can just chill at the riverbank, can eat. And, it's very nice.
Yeah, the commercial space also doing quite well.
Yes,
quite crowded.
But
on a Thursday evening also.
Thursday evening, yes. So I really hope that we Malaysians, we can accept more stratified townships. This is all stratified,
it's ongoing, but for KL, you don't really see it because there's no more extra space.
If yes, then it's quite far, It's further away.
It's not that it's not accepting, It's just that we need more land on a prime, location to be built for, all these stratified township and all that.
But the thing is, when I ask my friends, right, who are in Johor Bahru, I ask them, hey, why don't you reside in Senibong Cove? It's so nice. And the condo there, right, I saw on Property Guru, it's only 500,000. Like 500,000, maybe 800 square feet, I think so. So it's still quite cheap. Then they say, you're very far from CIQ. So you see, everyone in JB, because most of them are working in Singapore, they'll be saying, you're very far from CIQ, very far from CIQ. Actually, it's not far. It's only 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Yeah, but everyone will be saying that, very far, very far.
Yeah, but then Senibong Cove is the target audience is not maybe your friends also, ma.
Yeah, I think Senibong Cove,
it's for other older people.
Oh, I would say those who may be doing business in JB or they have more free time, because Causeway Link, if you were to walk to Singapore, or take bus to Singapore, right? 6, 7 a.m. you have to wake up already. I think it's too late already. 6, 7 a.m. Maybe 6 a.m.-ish or before 6. You have to wake up to prepare and you have to rush to Singapore already. Yeah, I think that's the sad truth lah.
Like really rush.
Really rush. I'm not joking. It's not rush, like can hair a bit. No, it's really rush. Because from custom out to Singapore, right, if you want to go to city centre to work, it's around 1 hour plus. And if you start work at 8, you reverse calculate, it's really, you don't want to take the risk. Yeah, because you wouldn't know what is a crowd. I think that sums up a little bit on what we see for JB properties and for Singapore. What is the difference between Singapore and JB in terms of property wise? It's really well planned. It's very expensive. Even the rental is very expensive. We have officially going to enter the car park for Mid Valley, and I guess that's all for our second episode. So if you like it, do share and subscribe. Do comment below if you have anything you want to ask. Both me and Stephanie, we will be answering you through the comments. So thank you so much, and I'll see you. Bye bye.